live. This is tape. This is not live. This is tape. Let me run this back. I think like right now, one of the best songs, and I think it's been used so many times, it's got to be Childish Gambino's Redbone. That's Stay Woke. Even though I'm not a big fan of the phrase Stay Woke, I mean it's like still it's really one of the best things musically that's come out. I think the album came out last year. Did it come out last year? I think so. Like last year or earlier this year. And it really is just great. I mean, his that right there, I like it. But I'm trying to so it's been a minute since I've done one of these, and I didn't want to do something live. I wanted to do something taped first and then see how the response was, and then maybe go back to the live sessions. I wasn't really happy with the last live session I had, but as I mentioned, I had a phone call and it kind of like threw me off. But I'm back. So what's going on? Let's see what I missed and what I should talk about. Since the last time I spoke to you guys, Kendrick Lamar dropped Damn. I haven't completely listened to all of it, but what I have listened to, I've had to listen to like 2 or 3 times because Kendrick's style of rapping is so like different. Like 1 minute he's like real slow and real, and then it's like la 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 la, and then it's like okay. So I had to listen to it more and more and more. I know everyone was really feeling Humble and Damn, but I really like DNA. I really really do. I think I get like I'm connected to it when I hear it, and I really like that song. So, check out Kendrick Lamar's Damn. See what you think. Let me know. This weekend marked the 25th anniversary of the LA Riots, April 29th, 1992. And I remember the LA Riots because I was a freshman in high school. I know. I was a freshman in high school, and I can remember sitting in, I think it might have been like our Black History Month, Black History organization, what we call them? Not a class. Damn, I'm old. See? Either way, we was in the Black History Club. Oh, maybe that's what it was, club. We were in the Black History Club, and I remember talking about it, and I remember the different voices and people were expressing like so much hurt because we'd all seen the video, we'd all seen the tape, and it was apparent that these 4 officers were guilty of beating this man like nobody's business. And we all wanted them to get a guilty verdict. And then when the not guilty verdict came down and then the riots happened, and much of us were like, well, why would they tear up their own neighborhood? So then you fast forward 22, 23 years later, and then you have these incidences in Ferguson and in Baltimore and in various other cities in the nation, and you wonder like, well, have we learned anything? What has changed? And I know we've learned something. I'm not sure if law enforcement has learned how to quell a peaceful demonstration that takes a turn because of outliers. If they go, I don't know if law enforcement understands not to go into these people's neighborhood, maybe looking like you are invading a small country with the tanks and whatnot. I'm not sure if communities, when it comes to policemen, and they're still, I don't know. It's like when I watched that documentary and then given the past 25 years climate, when it comes to race relations, when it comes to people versus the police, blue versus everyone else, it like makes you take a step back and think. And then it also made me realize that I've been woke for a long time. I think any fairy tale that I had in 1992 and that April 29th in 1992, it was definitely shattered. And I knew then that sometimes sometimes things don't necessarily work out how you believe they should, or even if everyone sees it, even if everything is laid out there, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get a verdict or a result that you believe should happen. So check out the documentaries about the LA riots. 25 years later, LA burning. I believe John Singleton did a documentary. A&E were showing them last night. I'm not sure if they're going to show them for the remainder of the week, and I'm not sure if they can be found on Netflix. But if they can, if they're on demand, then I would highly recommend that you check them out. They're pretty dope. It was pretty interesting, especially if you were a young teenager or a young adult or even an older adult during that time. It just reminds you of certain things, and it was interesting watch. What else? I could talk about relationships. I mean, I'm still not in one. But lately, a friend of mine, we were having this conversation about the things that men look for when they're dating, just casually dating, versus the things that men look for when they're actually serious and ready to settle down with a wife. And, there are certain things I would imagine that would change. Like I would imagine that, and I think it's for everybody. I think as you pursue a relationship, you want to get beyond just the physical aspect of the person. Like, I have said this before, and I will continue to say it. I think a conversation is very sexy. And can this person pique your interest through conversation? Can they seduce you before they even take your clothes off? Can we talk about politics? I mean, I don't know about today. I don't know about right now, but can we talk about politics? Can we talk about music? Can we talk about movies and television? What's the last book that you read? Can we talk about sports? Can we even dwell on like religion just a little bit? I mean, I think that, when you have a well-defined repertoire of what you can speak about, I think it's really beautiful. I think it's really sexy. And I think as you get older, you look for these in a mate because eventually, after all that hunching, you're going to have to talk to one another. I mean, eventually you'll have to talk to one another, and you're going to want to have someone who has a great conversation. If not, you're just kind of stuck. I don't know what else to tell you. But then I wondered, so I have some friends who are kind of stuck in this lull where they find a guy and they do have great conversation with this person, and the sexual chemistry is like on point, praises from both sides, but they can never get over the hump. They can never get to the let us be together. Let us be together. Let us pray. Let us be together. It's usually like, I think you're a super dope chick. I mean, you give great conversation and other things, and yet and still there's no, and I want you to be my girl. It's usually like, but I don't see us being in a relationship. And we're both just like, well, when you want those type of qualities in your mate, like when you want to be sexually compatible, when you want to be conversely compatible, when you want to be financially compatible, or fiscally responsible, equally yoked. So what is it that we're missing? What are we neglecting? Is it that men don't want their wife material to be so? Is it the sex? Is it they don't want them to do those things sexually before they get married? Which I find really interesting, because then you have men who say things like, if you don't do it, someone else will do it, like once they get married. So wouldn't you want your wife to be able to fulfill your desires all around? Is it that I don't cook? I mean, not me. I'm just saying, because no. No. What is it? Like, what is the determining factor? What takes you over the hump? Because I've heard, I read books, I've heard relationship therapists say this. I've had guy friends say this. Like, if when you meet a girl and you're hanging out with her, if you can marry this girl. So what makes this girl marryable? Is that a word? Marryable versus not marryable. Like, I have an idea like what a not marryable girl is, but I don't feel like any of my friends fit into that category. So I find it very odd that they're not in like sustainable relationships or married. So I'm wondering like, well, what is it that they're lacking, or is it that they are attracting the same person, they're dating the same person over and over again? Now that I do believe that's also a problem. I do believe that is one of the symptoms of this sickness. But I just want to know like what makes a girl marryable and what makes her not marryable. Like I kind of figure I know what makes a guy marryable. Because I'm not married, so obviously I haven't been married, so I would know what prevents me from marrying them, other than them not asking. So I don't know, but so I'm gonna drop that little nugget, and I don't really have any answers today. I'm sorry, I don't have any words of wisdom to leave you with either, except check out Kendrick Lamar's album, check out the LA riots documentaries, John Singleton, check on A&E Demand to see if you can find them, and answer this question for me. What makes a woman marryable versus what makes her not marryable? And I guess I'm going to get some smart ass answers just like, well, I mean, I married her, so that's what made her marryable, and I hope she take your money when she leave you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I believe in love. I want everybody to stay married and be happy and be fruitful and multiply. But don't ask me to babysit. Okay, y'all. Be blessed and be a blessing, and I will check you later. Damn it.